it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and welcome to this exclusive subscriber-only lesson where I'm going to share with you 3 things that I see almost every new student of mine have trouble with, and how we can learn to overcome these problems with some simple, logical solutions. Now, if you're just starting to play guitar, I want you to try your best to keep what we're going to talk about in mind as you progress on your journey. And if you've been playing guitar for a while, but you haven't been seeing the results that maybe you thought you'd be seeing, these things might help make the difference. It can be really challenging figuring out how to learn guitar on your own, especially if you don't have a teacher or some type of step-by-step program to sort of guide you along the way and help you with what you should be working on. Our first problem is memorizing your mistakes. And while this can happen in many areas of your playing, the most common place this pops up in beginners is with their chord switching. And it happens when you learn something and you learn how to do it correctly. Let's say playing the E and the A chords. So you figure out the shapes, you get all your fingers in the right spots. You're moving them around. You got the right spots. You test your chord shapes out. And all the strings work. And as soon as you get it, you move past it to the next thing and the next thing. Then a little later, you go back and you try to switch from E to A. You already know the chord shapes, right? So you should be able to switch between them. And here is where the problem occurs. You're hammering away at it, switching from E to A, and since you're still pretty new to this, you're making a couple mistakes. Individually, each chord is fine. You're great at the E chord, you're great at the A, but as you switch between them, trying to keep up with the beat, a bunch of little mistakes might occur. Maybe your fingers are lightly touching the strings that they're not supposed to, which will mute them. You get a little bit of that. Or maybe you're pressing with the wrong part of your finger and you're getting a buzzing note. And if you keep doing it this way, you're only going to memorize the wrong way of doing it. Your muscle memory will remember all these mistakes and you'll keep repeating them. And this happens because you don't have a strategy and you've never worked out the switches slowly and accurately. So how do we fix this? It's actually very simple. Every time I have a student who has this issue, all I do is write out the steps for switching from one particular chord to another, and then we follow those steps one at a time, over and over, until it's committed to their muscle memory. This takes probably 5 to 10 minutes of hard work, and it gives you a lifetime of switching properly between whichever 2 chords you choose. You do this with all the chord shapes you know, and suddenly you're able to switch cleanly between any shapes. So let's see what I'm talking about. Here's an excerpt from my new beginners course, Learn Guitar Once and For All. I'm just going to log in. This is what my students see when they use my course. Here we have all the lessons on the side, organized step by step. It keeps track of everything. And once you finish it or say you stop halfway, it remembers where you are. Anyways, we're going to go to the lesson where we talk about switching from A to E. Next, we'll practice switching from A to E. And first, we'll work out the motions. So start by making the A chord. And the first step when switching to E is to remove the first finger. And then we move our other fingers to the 4th and 5th string. So we move them over 2 times. 1, 2. And then all we have to do is place our first finger on the 1st fret of the G string. Let's go through those motions one more time. Starting with our A chord, we remove our first finger, move these ones over a couple times, and then we add our first finger to complete the E shape. And to go back to A, we reverse the steps. So remove the first finger, shift these other 2 fingers 2 times, and then add our first finger back, and there you go. So let's do some silent switching for a bit, just to work out the mechanics. Remove, move, add it back, remove, move, add it back. Just do it a few more times at your own pace. And when you're ready, we can try this together playing the chord switching game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch, switch. Switch, switch. Switch, switch. Switch, switch. Switch, switch. Couple more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Last one. And once you finish the lesson, there's a bunch of audio play-alongs for every single exercise we do in the video. Like when I teach someone in a one-on-one lesson, I give them their assignment and then they go home and they try to figure it out. But with these play-alongs, it's like you get to practice with me, so you'll know if you're doing it right. If you find that you like to learn this way, there's an exclusive subscribers only discount that I'm offering. And if you're watching this video, that means you. So there's a discount code at the bottom of the email that you got this video in. Anyway, on to our next problem. So the problem is not understanding the difference between rhythm and coordination. And this happens a lot. It might even be the most common problem. It's kind of hard to say, but out of 10 students, I'd say 2 or 3 of them have no problem strumming. For whatever reason, they can just do it. So that means that 7 or 8 new guitarists out of 10 that I see personally, there's something up with their strumming, some kind of glitch or hiccup, like it doesn't sound even, or their arm moves with like a jerky motion instead of having a nice, laid back, steady strumming sound. They get something a lot less pleasing. It's not even funny how many people just say outright, I don't have any sense of rhythm. And I guess they just feel like, that's it. I'm just going to keep playing guitar, but I'll never have any sense of rhythm. I'll just focus on chords or whatever. And that's the way my life is going to be. They just accept it. And sometimes I wish I was just allowed to grab them by the shoulders and shake some sense into them, because that's 100% not true. It's totally possible to develop a great sense of rhythm. And the first step is learning the difference between rhythm and coordination. Rhythm is your ability to feel the beat. And the beat is just ticking along steadily, whether it's the beat of a song or a metronome or even a clock ticking. There's a steady pulse. And having a sense of rhythm means being able to relax, just listen to the pulse, and be able to tap your foot or clap your hands or snap your fingers, whatever you feel like doing, being able to do that along with the beat as it just steadily goes along. Coordination, it's pretty straightforward. Your brain says arm, move down, and your arm goes down. Then your brain says go up, and your arm goes up. It's really simple. And when you're actually playing, it gets a little bit more complicated, because as you're moving your strumming arm down and up, you're also moving your chord hand, maybe tapping your foot or singing. Anyways, neither of these seem really difficult, but you have to realize that they're intertwined. You can't have one without the other, and you can't get really good at one without practicing the other. This also means that we can work on them separately, and I think that's where most people feel hopeless. They don't realize that there's a bunch of ways to actually fix this instead of just being born with good rhythm. So let's do an exercise that isolates our rhythm, and then we'll do a different exercise to isolate coordination, and finally we're going to put them both together. So the first thing we need to practice our rhythm is a beat. And I'm just going to use a metronome to keep just a steady rhythm. You can do it with a song, anything that just has a steady pulse. I'm just going to set up my metronome really quick. And let's just take a minute and listen to the click. Just hear it clicking along. It's predictable. It keeps happening at the same time. Just relax. I'm going to snap along. This is a bit of a mental game. Your emotional state plays a huge role in your sense of rhythm, so try your best to be calm. Don't worry if it's not perfect. Just listen more than anything. Listen to that recurring beat happening over and over. Now we're going to double our clapping. So we're clapping on the beat, and we're also clapping halfway between each beat. And I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you can count along with me, even better. Just keep clapping though. That's the main focus, is we're just trying to stick with the beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it. That's all you need to work on for rhythm. Just clapping along with a song or a metronome, focusing on remaining calm and keeping a steady, even pace. It seems really simple, but it's like exercising. Going for a walk is really simple. You might not even break a sweat, but it still is good for your heart. It's good for it's good exercise. Well, this is good exercise for your rhythm muscles, or whatever it is, that makes your rhythm go. This is the best exercise for it. So, you got to walk before you can run. And I think that clapping along with the beat and then clapping double time, 2 times on every beat, nice and even, is the first step to developing a solid sense of rhythm. Anyways, we're going to move on to some coordination. So grab your guitar. And to start out, we're just going to do some downstrokes, trying to keep them nice and even, remembering our little rhythm lesson that we just had. I'm not even going to grab a chord. I'm just going to have open strings, and I'm just going to go down, down. Down, down. Down, down. Down, down. We could count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. And now let's do a different motion. So that one was really easy, just down, down. Now let's do down, up, down. So it's still pretty simple, just down, up, down. Down, up, down. Just try it with me. Down, up, down. And down, up, down. A couple more. Let's try counting it. Saying 3 and 4. 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Nice. Now that we've worked on rhythm and coordination separately, let's try putting that together. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go down, down, 3, 4. So I'll show you the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So I just keep doing that over and over again. And let's try it together now. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So you're just playing down, down, and counting 3, 4, and alternating that with just counting a whole measure. We're doing a lot of counting because we want to focus on keeping that steady rhythm and just incorporating a little bit of coordination. And I want you to try that on your own. If you're not, getting it 100%, just take a moment, try that on your own. And then we can do the same thing, but for down, up, down. So we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, down, up, down. And you can try that on your own, and then we put the whole thing together, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, 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 up, down. And I find when I say down, down, up, down, and I make my students say those things, that's when they actually get a lot better. Just doing it is one thing, but there's something to do with the connection of hearing yourself saying it. It just makes it a lot easier. And in my course, we do that a lot. We have a lot of clapping exercises that don't even involve the instrument. We're just focusing on building up your internal rhythm. And we have a lot of strumming exercises that use the same rhythms as the clapping exercises. We just learn how to add coordination to that. So it's really building on it slowly, bit by bit. I want to make sure that we're not leaving anybody behind. I've seen a lot, and I've taught a lot of lessons where I maybe was teaching a little bit above where my student was, and in all the years I've been teaching, I've realized that you really need to make sure that you get that solid foundation, those very beginner skills, and then it snowballs. It gets a lot easier to learn those more advanced skills if you're so good at the basics. So I want to make sure that you're really, really good at rhythm, that you can just feel the beat, no problem, before we start, figuring out all the down and up strokes and all that stuff, and then we take it from there. Everyone thinks they're in tune when they're actually not. And trust me, the fastest way to make a good guitar player sound kind of awful is to give them an out-of-tune guitar. And on the other hand, a really easy, fast way to improve your sound on guitar is to make sure that it's always in tune. The guitar is a pretty complicated, precise instrument, and fractions of a millimeter can make a huge difference in pitch. So you have to be really, really precise as you're tuning. And the first lesson that I have with my beginner students, we spend a huge chunk of it learning the names of the strings and then practicing tuning. And that's right, we practice tuning. It's not just something you do like flipping a pancake or whatever, there's an art to it. And in the 14 years that I've been a guitarist, I've developed a whole bunch of tricks that help me tune quickly and keep my instrument in tune longer so that I sound good. This is especially important when you have a lower end guitar, which might not stay in tune as well as a more expensive guitar. And it's something that I make sure that I share with all my students. Let's just take a quick peek at my course. I'll show you a little clip. We're gonna learn some tuning strategies. Just gonna access it right here. So here we have tuning near the beginning because you wanna be practicing all of this with an in-tune guitar. So we spend quite a little bit of time up front getting our guitars well in tune. This teaches you how the guitar works as well. Anyways, we're just gonna watch this little excerpt of me showing you how to tune your guitar. We'll start out by clipping our tuner onto the headstock of the guitar and turning it on, or we can place our phone on our lap with the microphone pointing at the sound hole. Now, we already went over the names of the strings, and this is the first place where that's gonna come in really handy. We learned that the lowest string is called E, so we pluck this string, and I should get the letter E showing up on the screen. If you don't get E on your screen, it means that your string is closer to an entirely different note. The electronic tuner is just sensing whichever note your string is closest to. Mine is close to the note that it's supposed to be on, and yours might be too. We're both close to the letter E. But if your string is really low, it might be close to one of these notes down here, like A, or B, or C. It might just be a little off, like E flat. If that's the case, you need to turn your tuning peg until you're close to E. So we're almost perfect there. All we need to do is go back and forth between the tuning knob and checking the note on our tuner. So we just pluck, turn it a bit, check it, pluck again, turn it a little bit more. So you need to keep plucking in order to kind of refresh the signal, because when you first pluck the note, that's when it's the loudest. and then it kind of fades away. So if you leave it for too long, your tuner might have a hard time hearing your note. But if you go, that actually confuses the tuner as well. So pluck, twist a little bit, check your tuner, pluck, turn it a little bit until your note is right on the middle. Most tuners have something special that happens on the display to say, hey, success, we're in tune. So back to our string names, E, A, D, G, B, E. We have E. Our next string's supposed to be A. Whoa, mine's a lot lower than that. Mine is G. So I'll have to tighten the tuning head until I reach A. So you see there, I actually went a little too far. I went past it, and now I have to come back down. And the problem is, if you come back down till your string's perfectly in tune, now if we tug on it and check our tuning again, see how it's a little bit flat? That's because sometimes the string gets caught in here. It's getting caught in the nut. So the tension's different here than it is here. And when you're tugging on it, you're just equalizing the tension along the whole string. All you gotta do is just tune it up one more time. Whenever you're tuning up into a note, it's gonna stay in tune better than if you go past the note and then come back down into it. So you always wanna be tightening as the final movement. You don't wanna just finish by loosening the string and getting at your perfect note, or else when you tug on the string, it's gonna go way out of tune, super flat. And that's just something worth getting used to. Just tugging on your strings when you're finished tuning them and then giving them a quick retune. That'll make sure your guitar stays in tune way longer than if you didn't do it. Anyways, we're gonna tune our fourth string now, the D string. And there you have it. Those are the 3 most common problems that I see beginner guitarists facing every day and how you can fix them. And I'm gonna do a bit of a shameless plug here because I've spent the last 1.5 years making a video course that goes over this stuff and like 100 other things. It's an interactive series of short, to the point, 5-minute lessons mixed with exercises, play-alongs, and a whole variety of things to keep you engaged. It keeps track of where you are. It marks lessons off when you've completed them. You know, you're meant to get a little bit better every time you log into my course. And just like the 3 things that we went over in this lesson, we figure out where you need the most help, and then we go through some steps and we figure out how to make you a better guitarist. And as a subscriber to the Good Guitarist newsletter, on top of getting the free ebooks covering rhythm and lead guitar, you're also entitled to a huge discount on this course. If you look at the email where you received the video and you scroll to the very bottom, below this video, you'll see all the details, everything you need to get your exclusive subscriber-only discount and get complete lifetime access to my beginner's guitar course, Learn Guitar Once and For All. There's over 6 hours of video content broken down into small 5-minute lessons, over 12 hours of audio play-alongs so you can practice along and do the exercises with me. And on top of that, there's a bonus companion booklet that contains diagrams for posture, parts of the guitar, has every single exercise in the course written out, along with worksheets that you can fill out to make sure that you're getting the most from the course. And there's another bonus, that's a 12-week, 24-week, and 36-week planning guide. It's just an easy to follow guide that helps you track your progress as you go through the course, making sure that you're staying on track and actually achieving what you set out to do. And finally, you're also going to get lifetime access to future upgrades. And believe me, I love to think about teaching. I do it all the time, and I've already thought of some great ideas, just even more stuff that I can add to this course to make the experience even better. I want this course to be something that anyone can pick up and just learn guitar from. And I want it to be an affordable alternative or a supplement to regular guitar lessons. If you practice along, following the step-by-step method in my course for about 15 to 30 minutes every day, I guarantee you'll see results. And if within 30 days you feel that you're not actually getting any better, I'll give you all your money back and you can keep the booklet and the audio practice tracks. I want you to have something that I wish I had when I was first learning. And as one of my subscribers, you're going to get 33% off this course. I'm not going to be able to offer it at this price forever, so you'll definitely want to take a look and see if learning this way is right for you. So go back to the email that you received this video in and scroll down to see all the details. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you soon.